Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, DICE and Battlefield have put out yet another one of these design philosophy posts, this time in relation to destruction and how they're going to handle that in Battlefield 6. We saw a little bit of the destruction teased in the very first bit of official gameplay trailer, but they never went into detail, and they're doing that today. So without further ado, if you enjoy the content and want to follow Battlefield 6, be sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and of course, come by the streams, as I stream every single day on twitch.tv/enders and this very YouTube channel as well. So the clip they posted on Twitter to go alongside this destruction philosophy post is a person that aims an RPG or an AT-4 or some sort of launcher at the side of a building. He shoots the side of the building in the direct center, and literally the entire face of this building just sort of falls off, and some of the other building to the left of it is also damaged, with the railings and awnings falling over as well. Then he runs through the building, through a double wall, which was blown out, down the staircase. I think they're showing how destruction can form different sort of movement options throughout the map here. The commentary around this has been really positive so far. People do like how it's looking. However, even on places like Reddit, people are expressing their concern for just the amount of destruction this one rocket was able to do to a building. People are worried that if one rocket did this much damage to the building, how are the buildings going to look at the end of the game? But in my personal opinion, the way this looks right now is it obviously looks significantly more interesting and better than Battlefield 2042, and this is definitely more in line with what I think a lot of the Battlefield community was looking for. But let's hear what DICE has to say about it. They first mentioned that the goal for destruction is centered around adding further gameplay depth by allowing you to reshape the environment and transform your surroundings towards a, quote, tactical advantage. Honestly, when they use the word tactical, it just comes off as a buzzword. It kind of is a buzzword. That is how it's used in a lot of these posts, and that's how it's used by a lot of people in the community. But in this example, they actually do give a tactical reason for why you would destroy things. In this post, they give the example of barging through walls to surprise your enemies, reshaping the battlefield, so on and so forth. One of the things they mentioned in this post is that they're going to design the destruction around being able to identify what things are destroyable, right, via audio and visual design language. So let's say a wall is made out of a certain material. That should communicate to you that you can blow that wall up. This should also be true based off of the audio feedback you receive from shooting a wall or shooting whatever you shoot with an explosive. It'll make a sound that tells you you can actually destroy that further. Next up, they show us the biggest takeaway from this entire post, and that is, once a wall or an object takes enough damage, you can actually continue destroying it with bullets. So let's say you destroy a wall and it's visibly very damaged and weakened, you can then just shoot it and then it will continue to crumble. To my knowledge, this has never been possible before in a Battlefield game. Obviously, you can destroy things like wood panels or maybe sheet metal, but definitely not entire walls after they've been damaged with just your gun. This honestly seems pretty cool, and it does have some pretty insane playmaking possibilities. For instance, maybe you know that you're behind enemies and they're moving towards you or something. You can weaken the wall beforehand, have a tugs or something that spots the enemies behind the wall, then they go past, and you then, shoot the wall and try to burst through it and shoot them in the back or something. Sneaky plays like that. I'm not entirely sure how successful that would be, but it does sound like you can do things like that. Another massive takeaway is they mention how building damage will progress, and they mention that buildings will apple core, meaning you can blow every single wall out, but the core of the building will remain standing. But the rubble doesn't just disappear. The rubble will accumulate and then stay persistent throughout the entire playtime of the server. Now, when I was going over this on stream, somebody in my chat posed a very interesting question. Does this mean the walls crumbling and buildings collapsing? Does it mean that it happens the same way every single time if the destruction is persistent? Because we were trying to debate whether or not this would be client-side or server-side. To my knowledge, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, Battlefield destruction has always been server-side, especially if you can then use the destroyed or fallen parts of the building as cover. So while I'm not entirely sure, if the persistent rubble will be the same every single time, meaning all of this stuff will be in the same position when you destroy a certain wall, it is an interesting sort of discussion or topic to think of, and I'm interested to figure out how it works. I want to get my hands on the game really bad, but obviously they're never going to invite me to any of this, so just have to wait, guys. The next section they detail for us is the feedback and validation section, where they mention their main focus points for destruction, which are as follows. Number 1, understanding which environments can or cannot be destroyed, and which type of firepower is required for different material types. Number 2, the impact of collateral damage from debris and destructible elements. Number 3, tactical use of destruction to create new pathing or persistent environments. Number 4, balancing the ecosystem of damage through firepower and destruction. Then they go on to detail what they've learned so far. And this section includes things other than destruction, so it does include some movement opinions here as well. Quote, our goals for initial Battlefield Labs play sessions were to test server performance, gunplay, and movement, and for participants to get an initial understanding of what's next for Battlefield. Participants have now played through multiple sessions and offered up thousands of pieces of feedback. As we start testing other topics as destruction, we want to share some of our initial learnings and steps coming out of these play sessions. They then mention that early on they encountered some server stability and performance problems, and they have improved them since the beginning of Battlefield Labs, which hopefully means they can start opening up Battlefield Labs to more and more people. The next thing they mention is what they've learned about the movement and gunplay so far with Battlefield Labs, and this is very interesting. So apparently, according to them, they have learned that the gunplay feels like it's in a good spot to a lot of people, but there's further balancing that needs to be done to some different weapon archetypes and some of their damage values. This is obviously completely normal. I mean, the game's not going to be perfectly balanced. I don't think any Battlefield is ever perfectly balanced, but their movement comments do kind of worry me because honestly, some of the movement feedback I've seen is completely ridiculous. I mean, you guys know if you follow this channel, the Reddit has been in all-out war about the movement, and they have certainly seen that. But this is what they had to say about it. Quote, feedback on movement suggests that we need to continue iterating on finding the right balance in speed, namely for functionality like crouch sprint, combat rolling, vaulting, and more. It's very interesting to me that they don't mention jumping or sliding here. They do mention and more after listing things like crouch sprinting, but most of the complaints that I'm seeing are of the jumping and of the sliding, and definitely of the speed. Now, in my personal opinion, the speed of Battlefield 6, when I watch the gameplay, is standard. I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. I think it's completely comparable to other titles, and I don't think it's a problem. I think a lot of people that are complaining about it are just complaining for some reason. Maybe they actually think it's too fast. Maybe it's a skill issue. I mean, what do we know? But it's clear from that very vague statement, they're trying to be very delicate when it comes to the movement. They're aware that it's a huge topic for a lot of people, and they don't want to be too specific on what they're going to do with it just yet, it seems. So that's pretty much that. That wraps up this video, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think about all these topics in the comment section. If you did enjoy the channel, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. All links are in the description. Thank you guys for your time, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Spotted a hostile, around 50 meters from my position. Hostile mark. Hostile on the map, 70 meters from my position. Marking the hostile. Tango marked. Hostile Ranger ID, northeast.